Oh, that's right. I got to do the intro because they're not here. I'll do it. Okay. I hadn't even thought about that. I'll be able to do it. Brothers and sisters, siblings of all types, this is Penn Sunday School. We are broadcasting from Show Creator Studio South, right? Is that what you're calling it?
Yep.
And Matt Donnelly, Michael Goudreau, they are working and filling in for them more than filling all four of their shoes is Sherrod Small. And all you have to remember is it's Sherrod and not Smalls.
That's right.
No S at the end.
No
That's all you
S
got to
at the
remember. They're doing fine. And I'm Penn Jillette, and I'm preaching the love. Now, when you got here, you just came here from New York City.
New York City, I did.
And so what time were you up in the morning?
I never went to sleep. I I had shows last night at the Stand at the Comedy Cellar.
Did you kill?
Killed it.
Well, I'm going to teach you the vaudeville thing here. You got to know this vaudeville thing. When I say, how'd the show go? You say, were you there? I say no, and you say
I
killed.
killed it.
But then
I like that.
I got another out.
Okay.
Were you there? I say yes. You say band fucked me up. But you never say how your show went
Right.
until you know whether they were there or not.
Right.
So you killed.
Were you there?
No.
I killed. Oh, boy, did I kill.
We doing new stuff? Or?
Doing new stuff, working on a new hour.
Okay.
And, yeah, I stayed at the Cellar till about 3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
My flight this morning was 8.
Okay, good. Which, by the way, is 5 our time.
Yes, 5 your time. So I just went home. I kind of packed. I napped. Then I woke up and finished packing. And I went straight to the airport.
Now, do you sleep on airplanes? Reddy Rich vomits on airplanes.
Do you vomit?
That's all I do.
Really? Before or after?
All the way, yes.
What are you, an
The answer is
MLB
yes.
pitcher? Are you a pitcher in the major leagues? You know that dude who throws up every time he pitches?
Yeah,
Yeah. So do you eat before you get on?
I have to, yeah.
And then you throw it up?
Yes.
Okay. That's kind of weird, ain't it? I hate to sit next to you on a plane.
It's more painful if you don't eat.
Okay. So you don't enjoy flying?
I do not enjoy flying.
You like to train?
I found out I don't enjoy the train either.
So trains, planes, and automobiles you don't enjoy.
I like sitting at home.
That's what you like to do.
But not during an earthquake.
Correct.
Not during an earthquake.
Oh, that's right. You guys had a quake out here recently.
We did, and it was it's so great and psychedelic.
Really?
You know, I was on stage playing bass. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there playing my upright, and we're playing bebop jazz, which is what we played before the show. So we're trying to take it out, be a little weird. The audience is sitting there; they're kind of coming in. You know, the magic show starts at 9, jazz show starts at 8.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of settling in, kind of trying to do kind of Oscar Peterson and Ray Brown if Ray Brown hadn't been that good.
Nice.
You know, that's what I'm doing. And I'm kind of playing, and all of a sudden it feels like I'm swinging a little harder than I was before, you know?
Right.
I'm just like playing the bass, and we stop, and the whole room just goes,
Wow.
and it's so much, what people don't tell you, I've been in a couple. I was in the big one in L.A. In the 90s. I was in that big one. I was in
The one with the baseball, shut the baseball game down?
Yeah, all that.
Wow.
I was in that one right near the center. And what they don't tell you is if you put aside your fear, okay, which doesn't seem to scare me that much. If you put aside your fear, it's really neat.
Right.
It's really cool.
As long as
The whole world is moving.
That's incredible.
And if you're totally alone without the news on, you can really think it's you.
It's just you.
Now, I've never experimented with substances,
Okay.
but
That makes one of us.
I know that people that get fucked up when they're in an earthquake alone, just ain't no thing.
It ain't no thing. It's kind of like when you drinking and driving, and they said the only person not hurt in the crash is the drunk person.
Yeah, exactly that. In an earthquake, you're cool. And I remember, and I've told this before, but Rita Rudner. I was at a hotel, at the same hotel as Rita Rudner, not the same room.
Okay.
And she was very flipped out because, there was no power in the hotel, and they're feeding us peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We couldn't leave, and it was police outside and stuff. And she said she was terrified by the earthquake. And I said, I didn't think it was no big deal. And she said, but during an earthquake, you don't know what's going to happen next. And I said, You do when there's not an earthquake? Because I do not have the power of precognition at all non-earthquake times.
Yes.
But it was really nutty because you're moving a lot.
Now, did they get everybody out of the casino after the show? What happened? It just kept going.
Just goes. And everybody, and then because I do a magic show, when it slowed down, I went, "Thank you very much."
Bravo, that's a pro.
Yeah, the audience went, "Whoa, that's good." When you're a magician, you got to always be ready for that.
Yeah,
always ready to take credit. You're in a restaurant, car goes through the window, you take credit. Thank you very much. Thank you. There was a magician. I just love this so much. There was a magician who was playing a sold-out show. This was in the early 20th century, playing a sold-out show. And he got told off stage that there was a fire in the building, and he had to get everybody out without any panic. He went on stage, and he said, "For my next trick, I need everybody to move orderly to the nearest exit and just go out in the street. I'll do my next trick out there." And everybody slowly, easily, comfortably went out into the street. And then he stood there and gestured as the building burned.
The building burned.
That's the guy
great.
you want.
That's the guy you want.
That's a pro.
That's the goddamn pro.
Everybody's safe, then he takes credit. Beautiful.
And the building's on fire.
The building's on fire.
Good for him.
Burns on down.
This one was a little after 8 o'clock. And so everybody in show business in Vegas was on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Including all the Cirque du Soleil people.
Like midair and shit. No, I saw Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
I saw footage of her show getting shut down, I think. Yeah, it's crazy. If you're on stage during that, that's nuts.
Yeah. It was really crazy.
But they didn't evacuate anyone.
No, where are you going to go to?
I guess like outside, so stuff won't fall on your head inside.
Outside, so stuff will fall on your head outside.
Yeah.
I mean, where you want to be is in a doorway.
Right.
Where you want to be is there. But it was great. And the piano, he's playing a grand piano, like a no kidding around piano. He's just going.
And it's going back and forth.
Just moving back and forth, with his hands going and stuff. And everybody's just kind of looking at each other going, yeah, it's an earthquake.
Yes.
It's an earthquake.
No, it's Vegas not really used to having a lot of earthquakes out here.
No,
right?
we're not the center of it, but that's what kind of pissed us off in Vegas, because all the news was about what happened in L.A.
Yeah. But they got a 7.1 though, right?
Yeah, but how big were we? Ready?
I don't know.
He was in a house just chilling, just trying not to move.
I was actually on stage too, but my band didn't start until 9.
Oh, really?
So I was alone.
On stage?
Underneath the lighting rig.
That's what I'm talking about. The lights and shit.
You don't want to be under the lighting rig.
Yeah, you end up like, what's the blues singer, the R&B singer who got hit by the stuff falling on stage and he got paralyzed.
You should know that.
From the 70s.
Trouble T. Roy died.
Well, he fell off a ramp, though. He fell off a ramp onto his head.
But the guy that got paralyzed.
Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, kept working.
Yep, kept working after that. He died maybe like a few years ago, he kept working after getting paralyzed.
He was working
on stage. It smashed him.
Yeah.
That's my fear.
That you're going to get smashed?
I'm going to get smashed, yes. Yes, I think it can happen.
Well, I'll tell you, if it does happen and we now got this recorded, it'll be wonderful. Sherrod knew, man.
I'll say ta-da.
I predicted it. Our buddy, Amazing Randy, the skeptic.
Oh, yeah.
He used to carry in his wallet every day. He would get up in the morning and he would pull a card out of his wallet and he would tear it up and burn it and throw it away. And then he would take another card and he would write very, very clear, "I, James Randi, will die today," and put the date on it and then put it back in his wallet. And he did that every single day for like years.
No.
Thinking if he died, they'd find that in his wallet, and how hip would that be?
That's crazy.
I, James Randi, will die today. So what you got to do is every night before you go on stage, go, I, Sherrod Small, will get hit by a light tonight.
Yes.
Put it there on your dressing room table. Boom. That happens, you are talked about forever.
See, I think the first night I do it, I'm going to get hit. That's what I believe.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
Some stagehand going, I'm going to help him out. I'm going to help his career. Curtis Mayfield did okay.
He did do okay after that. Yeah. Never needed a wheelchair. He always had one.
Yeah, exactly. All set to go.
He got paralyzed all the way down too, which is nightmare.
Yeah. Well, my mom She was paralyzed the last 2 years of her life.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, if you have a choice, paralyzed or not paralyzed, even with all the ableist stuff, I still say go with not paralyzed.
Yeah, that really
It's better. Yeah.
It's better.
Now,
that
do you
way?
sleep on airplanes?
Yes, I sleep. I slept on this one.
Yeah.
It was rough. I have a window seat. I like to have a window seat because I don't like getting up and down, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to get out somebody's way because they gotta go to the restroom.
Also, you can lean against the window.
I lean against the window and I knocked out.
Now, do you look out? See, this is the thing that always makes me feel jaded and awful.
Right.
You know, you get up in an airplane and you are getting a view above the earth
Yeah.
that, Alexander the Great,
None of them
Julius
saw.
Caesar
Yeah.
would have killed for.
Yes,
They would
Lincoln.
have given 10 years of their life to
Yeah.
just see that one thing, and you're sleeping. So I always try to take a moment and just look out and see the beauty of that. Have you lost that completely?
No, sometimes I look out there, and when I'm looking out the windows and I have the window seat and I see other people enjoying it, and like the middle seat and others, the aisle seat, I'll close it right in their face. You should have got the window, stupid.
Yeah, sorry. I got control. This is my little kingdom.
That's right.
This is what I am king. I am king of 4C.
I close it right in their face. No more for you. Yeah, I'm an evil bastard.
It's like, so you fly every week.
I fly a lot. I enjoy flying. I try to just block it out and just look at it like it's any other thing.
And you like doing stand-up.
Love.
Because there are
That's my life.
so many stand-ups I know.
That's miserable.
Older than you, I suppose.
Yeah.
But so many stand-ups I know that worked so hard
Yeah.
to get on the stand-up route and now hate it.
And now hate it. You got to be careful what you wish for. But sometimes you out on that road so much, you know that.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes the road just drives you crazy. And you want to be in a house, not moving around. So, yeah, some people just don't like it no more. Yeah. That road is rough, though. That road can be rough if you're doing real small, dinky shows.
Yeah.
But I enjoy both of it. I like being in New York, in LA, or out there on the road somewhere just telling the jokes. Yeah. The jokes don't tell themselves.
Now, I was going to talk to you about jokes a little bit because I just had this experience. There's this play called The Play That Goes Wrong, okay. which is a real big hit on Broadway, real big hit over in England, and it is actors. It's the story is that they're doing a whodunit mystery. Everything goes wrong, and it's comedy.
Right.
So we wrote a show with them called Magic Goes Wrong.
Okay.
And so I'm in there working, and it's so strange because the difference between, everything I say is first person.
Right.
And when I'm out on stage talking, although I'm doing magic, which means I am looking people in the eye and lying my ass off,
Right.
everything I say is true.
Right.
And they're doing everything in character. So it's true for their character.
Right.
Now, when you're on stage, everything you say you believe?
No.
No.
But
So-
I question myself on stage as well.
Now,
so
what's the difference between Sherrod
on stage.
totally with your friends and on stage? How much variation is there?
I think I cut off all the fat when I'm on stage.
Sure.
With my friends, I'll fool around and we'll talk about things that lead nowhere. But on stage, I try to make it mean something. You know what I'm saying? And try to make it people relate to it. So I think I just cut off the fat. It's just more professional talking.
And how much your show is just tight, and how much your show is loose there?
I would say maybe 60-40. Maybe 60-40 tight. Because I like to keep it organic to the room, too. And I don't want to feel like I'm always repeating the same shit.
Now, I know you do. You do audience work.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
You'll find yourself, and you do it a little bit like Rickles, right?
Yeah.
You're looking for a type of person that you've got stuff on.
Usually, yeah, sometimes. But sometimes if you can't even find that, if you get out the way of it, you can make it happen. That's what I always find. If I try to force the laugh on it, it ain't going to work. But if I just be in a moment with the person or with the audience, then it always works.
Now, how long have you been on the road doing stand-up?
Shit, 99?
99. Wow.
Yeah, that's 20 years
20
now.
years. 20 years.
Damn!
And how did you get from little Sherrod to doing comedy professionally?
Just do it first. When I just started doing open mics and bringer shows.
And did you do college first or no college?
Yeah, I did a bunch of colleges.
No,
early on. Oh, did I go to college?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I went to Morgan State. Big shout out to Morgan State, Baltimore, Maryland. I know Trump doesn't like Baltimore, but
He does not like, well, there's more than Baltimore he doesn't like.
right. Yeah, it's a lot of things.
So you what'd you major in?
I majored in communications and business.
Did you know you wanted to go into comedy?
I did. So, but I still wanted to go to school. I still wanted to go to college. I had a clothing store I owned with a couple of my friends when I was in college called Materialistic, like a couple blocks from the campus. Because a lot of my guys who went to my school, people who went to my school, came down from New York and New Jersey to go to school in Maryland. So we used to always go back home to go shopping for clothes and shit like that. So we was like, how about we just open a little store next to the school? That's what we did.
So you had a business going while you were in college.
Yes.
You're like the FedEx guy.
That's right. Always working.
Little arrow working into your logo. Right?
That's right. That's right.
And so you had a whole clothing store and
Had a clothing store. We used to promote parties and stuff. Had like a production company in college. And I had so much fun in school. And I still go back now. I have charities. Me and my friends, we have a charity down there that we send some inner city kids from Baltimore to college. We pay for their college, their books and stuff like that. We do that every year. So.
And how do you choose them?
Well, one of my boys, Dwight, he's down there. He works with the school system down in Baltimore. So him and a couple other my friends who work with like young kids, they usually put the list together and like try to find the people.
So you don't think it's enough to just call a place a shithole? You actually want to help the people in it?
Yeah, you got to help it out. That's right.
That's a weird thing, man.
You would think the president would think that. It's like, if it's so bad, send some money down here.
Yeah, or not even money. Just give some help.
Yes, he's talking about it like it's not part of America.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure it's part of his America.
It's not part of his America.
I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure it is.
He was real specific about what he likes. But do you think he's going to win, though? He's going to win in 2020. I believe he's going to win in 2020.
I think we talked about this. I'm real afraid.
I'm afraid.
I'm real afraid. But you have to remember, mostly, and this goes back to how I was brought up. If I would go say to my mom, I don't want to wear these jeans to school, they look stupid.
Right.
My mom would say, who's looking at you? Who's looking at you? Her whole argument was, you don't ever care what other people think. You just go and do it.
Right.
So whenever people say that Trump's embarrassing us, as soon as they use the word embarrass, I go, I don't care about that.
Right.
I don't care if Germany thinks we're dipshits.
Exactly. When do we ever care about that?
Yeah.
That's the worst argument.
But I'll tell you, I cringe like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
I hear him talk and go, oh. And I have to remember, he does not speak for me. That's this whole team sports thing, that you got to be part of a group. And I don't like considering myself an American. My idea is you can be one person or you can be 7 billion, but you can't be in between.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If I don't want to talk about being American, I want to talk about being a human.
Right.
So I try to remember that when this goofball is embarrassing me to say, he's not speaking for me.
Right.
He's speaking for himself, and there you go. But I'm afraid.
You're afraid. Do you see anyone on the Democratic side that can beat him? First of all, there's a lot of Democrats running.
Yeah.
I think DMX is one of the candidates. He's going to bark us into the future. But who on that do you think Biden's going to? He's sticking his foot in his mouth so much, it's bugging me.
I know. And the problem is that those of us who are going to vote for Trump, trying to be inclusive, trying to say those of us, not them,
right?
Those of us,
we're all, yeah.
The people that are voting for Trump don't seem to care how he fucks up.
They don't.
And the people who are voting for Biden really do.
Yeah.
One of the things that someone said to me, which my friend Lawrence O'Donnell, who's on MSNBC, Lawrence O'Donnell said the problem with Hillary Clinton was that when she lied, which was often, she felt guilty about it.
Yeah.
And you could see that.
Yeah.
And when Trump lies, there's no shame.
Yes.
There's no shame at all.
Yes. He don't apologize. He sticks to his fucking guns like that.
When you live with no shame, it is a superpower.
Yes.
And as I said, the founding fathers had this inkling, this kind of sort of inkling that maybe women should probably get the right to vote.
Right.
Maybe there should probably not be slaves.
Right.
Maybe they had all that kind of in their mind. Maybe this kind of thing would happen, but they never, ever predicted a president without shame.
Without shame at all.
Yeah. They thought, well, there'll be a certain kind of, won't want to look like a dipshit to everybody.
No.
He won't do this stuff. And they had no prediction whatsoever that this kind of thing could happen.
So does this make him a Teflon president? Is he unstoppable that way?
I don't know. If somebody told you, you can have much more success in your life, much more success, but you are never, ever, under any circumstances, no matter what, going to apologize. Never. You never can do that. I will guarantee you right now, Sherrod, you will be worth $200 million in 3 years if you never apologize to anybody. I don't think you could do it.
I don't think I could do it.
I think you'd bump into someone in the elevator and go, "Oh man, sorry." I think you'd be in my size. I walk down the street at night. I see a woman walking alone. I want to apologize to her. I feel guilty. Just there's the possibility that I might have scared her a little bit.
Right.
And I feel I say something wrong, embarrassing, and stupid that I got to apologize for every 5 minutes.
That's just.
Could you do it?
I couldn't do it.
I mean, what the stakes were. People talk about, could you get in a ring with Tyson, whoever the big boxer is now? Could you do that for $5 million, get hit in the face? That's the discussion. That's a discussion we can have. Going your whole life without apologizing?
Without apologizing.
No, what are you ready?
I would say he's not Teflon, he's cast iron.
Yeah, that's a
Cast
difference.
iron.
Because everything sticks to it, and people just call that seasoning.
Exactly.
But he does it even with his family.
Yeah.
It's like, who is this dude?
I know. Well, I spent a lot of time with him.
That's right. I remember. That's right. The Apprentice. So what did you think? Like, what would
Here's the interesting thing.
Okay.
I never heard him laugh sincerely at anything.
Right.
Never heard him laugh.
There's always one thing behind
he would laugh at people in a bully, hateful way.
Right.
Like, ha ha, you failed. But never any sort of real, and he never did a joke.
Right.
Now, I'm not talking about sarcasm. I'm not talking about, boy, that person's wicked fat.
Right.
That disgusting stuff. Never heard him tell a joke and never heard him enjoy music. And that is scary.
That's scary shit.
Yeah.
I was on Good Morning America with Melania. And he called in and did a whole fake fire me on the air thing. But when she was explaining, because it was like the whole topic was it was about your boys having your back. And she was like, and then they asked Melania, does he have any friends that he goes to if you have in a crunch? And she was like, no, he's his own man. He goes to no one. I'm like, that's weird.
I was over in England, and they were doing a couple of big TV specials.
Yeah.
And the point of the TV special was we're going to dig in deep on the two major candidates.
Okay.
On Hillary Clinton and on Trump. Going to dig in deep. And they do these every 4 years, right? They do these big in deep dive.
And it was in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were in England. I think it was also broadcast. I think it was a PBS thing with also BBC. And they had me on because I spent a lot of time with Trump and talking about that. Right. And I said to the person afterwards, I said, so these shows easy to put together? And he said, well, shows are really a template. We just bang them out. And he said, we know what we're doing. He said, but Trump has been impossible because we have this whole section we do on everybody where we talk to their closest friends. And we can't find a friend.
Not one. Not one.
They said not a college friend.
Not one.
Not a high school friend. They said there's one woman that used to live in another apartment that he talked to once in a while.
Right.
And we talked to her and she said, not really a friend.
I'm telling you, that's what really struck me.
Yeah.
He got no friends.
No friends, doesn't like music, doesn't tell jokes, has no shame, will not apologize. You don't need to talk any sort of policy.
Right, that scares me. That scares me.
Yeah, because anybody. I mean, you could sit in a
Hitler had a friend, man.
Yeah, Charlie Manson.
Manson had friends.
He had a family.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this ad here. Sure. Do you gamble on sports at all?
I do a little.
You do? Well, here we go. You heard about this thing? Now, these are all words. I don't know what they mean.
Okay.
So you have to tell them to me. Antonio Brown is on the Raiders.
Yes, Antonio Brown's on the Raiders. He was beefing about his helmet for the longest. He just got traded from, where was he? He was just...
Okay, doesn't matter.
Okay.
You knew the name.
Yes.
Le'Veon Bell?
Le'Veon Bell, yes, I know him, running back.
Or the Jets?
Yeah.
Odell
Beckham Jr.? Yeah, he's a friend, actually.
One thing that hasn't changed, so you gamble. Yeah. When you gamble on sports, you do it right here? Because there's this company called MyBookie. Have you heard of this company?
Oh, I did. Yes, I know MyBookie.
And that's the place to bet on football every weekend. MyBookie has better bonuses and more prop bets than any other sports book, period. This year, they're hosting the first online handicapping super contest. First place is guaranteed to win at least $100,000.
Jeez.
And it only costs $100 to enter. All you got to do is pick 5 NFL games against the spread every week to climb to the leaderboard and score your share of huge cash prize pool. You know, we only gambled on sports once. Tell and I entered a pool. We were on Broadway with the crew, and we both won, and they hated us for it.
How much you win?
We won a lot, but we had to then buy them all this TV stuff because the producers said, you can't have the 2 stars winning.
Right.
The crew wants stuff. So we had to give all the money back and more. MyBookie has live in-game betting on every NFL game. You've got the most rewarding player. They got the most rewarding player.
So you can bet during the game. That's great.
Yeah, you can do everything. And up to $1,000 first deposit bonus. Double your first deposit. Use promo code
Penn.
That's PENN to activate the offer. Visit MyBookie online today. That's MyBookie. And don't forget to use the promo code
Penn
when creating your account to claim the bonus. Bet, win, get paid. What more do you want out of gambling?
MyBookie.
Now, do you gamble the table games in Vegas?
I play a little blackjack.
You do.
I play some blackjack. My sister's actually coming out here with her husband this week.
You?
One of my sisters.
Oh, yeah.
She's flying out here, and she's a gambler.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time I had a show in a casino in Atlantic City. Both my sisters were there. I left them in the casino maybe like 11 p.m. After with the last show.
Yeah, sure.
I woke up in the morning to fly out. These bitches still in the casino 9 o'clock in the morning with a whole new crew of people around them at the table and still going hard.
They come out ahead?
They always win.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how they do it, but they always fucking win.
There you go. There you go.
But I can't stay at a table for 15 hours.
But I will tell you, if you want to work in Vegas for the rest of your life, always be booked. All you got to do is go in there, lose a ton of money, not be able to pay it, and they will book you every year for the rest of your life. And there are, by the way, 2 comics in Vegas who come back every year, and they will never get paid. And they're always playing here.
What?
Yeah. I will tell you when there's not microphones on who it is.
I can't wait to
And I will also tell you, you will not be surprised. Sherrod's jaw will not drop. You'll go, oh yeah, of course.
That makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
So they come here still play, but they don't get paid money because they owe the casino so much money.
Yeah.
How is that a thing still?
They made some sort of deal, years ago saying, I'm in kind of over my head. How about instead of playing off this shit, I just play for the next 20 years, twice a year, 2 gigs, and think, okay.
Wow.
And so you come out here, you play, you get shrimp in your dressing room, you're done. That's your pay.
Oh, shit. Oh, this city.
So as a juggler, I got to talk about this with you.
Okay.
Now, you're rolling your own cigarettes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You're outside.
I roll them.
Smoke.
I put a little weed in them. That's why I have to roll them myself.
Okay, that's the reason. Okay. Now, but I don't care about that. Yeah. I'm not interested in the weed or the tobacco or any decisions like that. Okay. I'm interested in, do you do any of the fancy stuff? Do you do like one hand rolling or anything like that?
I can't do that.
You don't do
I would spill it all over myself.
Because the thing I love about habits is all the ritual that's around. I mean, do you like carrying that can of tobacco?
I do. You know what? I think I enjoy rolling it just as much as I enjoy smoking it. Mm-hmm. That's a weird thing, but I do.
Now, do you think they're going to have packaged cigarettes that have weed and tobacco?
They have it now.
They have packaged ones that already
already pre-rolls.
Already rolled?
Yeah. They got the pre-rolls.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely already had it in Europe, but now they started to have it here. And Vegas, Vegas got it.
Well, see, I've never had a puff of marijuana.
Never in your life?
Never a sip of alcohol.
Ever?
Never.
You Trump weird.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. My guy, you know what I mean? I am the always sober, never had a drink, and then I'm also hardcore atheist.
Right.
And the 2 things that have always I related to in a person, I believe the President of the United States is now both of those things, and I don't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm now saying, never had a drink, never. Maybe I should start smoking. Maybe I should start doing something. I don't know if I want to identify.
Does Trump not drink?
Never drank at all.
Ever?
Yeah.
Now, and you drink, right?
I had beer.
Beer. Like, what do you mean you had it? Somebody forced it
My
on you? Or-
grandfather gave me a sip of his beer when I was a kid.
That's a good grandfather.
But never since then, right?
Good pop. And that's the only beer you ever had in your
And
life.
I've had people sneak some in. This is complicated. I worked as a DJ at a strip club.
Right. And you never drank?
And the deal was I had to take drinks from customers. The staff knew that I didn't drink, so they would pour fake drinks for me. A couple of those didn't work out right.
And the kid was real drink.
Yeah, so I have tasted that.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't finish it.
So you were dead sober in the strip club.
Yeah.
What is that like? What the fuck is that about?
It's hard working for crackheads.
Yeah. When you surrounded by a whole bunch of people drinking and stuff and you're not, that's when I get bugged. That's why I got to leave. I can't even be in that situation.
I will tell you, I had a friend played in a punk band.
Right. Oh.
And he liked to do his drugs now and again. Right. And then he got a job at HBO or Showtime doing a documentary on E,
Okay.
Did a whole documentary on E. So he had to, as a worker, as a producer, go to all these raves, stone cold sober working. And he said, he remembered once I was playing a gig with him at CBGB.
Yeah.
I was playing bass with him at CBGB. And I said, I got to tell you, man, going to a place like CBGB, which I've done a lot.
Right.
I was in the punk scene, stone cold sober.
I can't believe that.
It is amazing. And he said, you said that about being in a punk club sober and how weird it was. He said, you think that's weird. Being in a rave, stone cold sober, he said, you just think you're on another planet.
Yes.
I said, there's no way to feel more alienated
Yes.
than doing that. And he said it changed his whole outlook. He said he was really
It made him
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable with drugs then.
Really uncomfortable with drugs.
I believe that.
Being sober in a bar,
Yep.
That's
the first thing to make you go, oh, I'm never doing this shit again.
Yeah.
This is what I turn into? Oh, I can't see this anymore.
Yeah, you want to be part. But I used to,
CBGBs, how were you sober in there? Just walking in there fucking.
Yeah, it was, and I'd go on stage and play bass with, Maureen Tucker and Half Japanese and those bands like that. And
everybody smashed.
Everybody smashed, and I'm there.
And you're like 6'7".
Yeah.
And you're sober.
The 930 Club in D.C., which if you're from Baltimore, you must know D.C. a little bit.
I know D.C. a little
bit. The 930 Club, they had a stage that was 6'5" on the stage. So I would have to play the whole night, play the bass with my head down, head crouched, head sober. So I was just, that,
wow.
There's that Diana Arbus photo, a Jewish giant at home in Brooklyn, which is this big, weird guy standing in his living room where he can't stand up with his little parrots. That's what I was like. Matter of fact, I've told you this, Reddy. I grew up in a house that my parents built. Right. When I say built, I don't mean they gave plans to a rich guy. I mean they carried every cinder block. They hammered every nail.
Where was this?
Western Massachusetts, Greenfield, Mass.
Okay.
You probably play Northampton or something now and again. Yeah, it's a little bit. It's the dirt poor place from that, like 20 miles north of that.
Okay.
And kind of a dead factory town, And my mom and dad, who were old when I was born. I'm 64 now, but my mom was 45 when I was born.
Wow.
So they were out of the Depression. It's almost like being raised by your grandparents,
Okay.
In terms of generations,
right.
My mom, to give you an idea, my mom was born in 1909.
Wow.
Okay, so everything shifted. Okay.
Wow. Who was Teddy Roosevelt, right?
Yeah. You're
Teddy.
You're crazy world there.
Wow.
And so they built the house. I mean, every nail hammered by my mom and dad.
Wow.
Every nail, every cinder block carried by my mom and dad. No help.
Are you the only child?
Well, it's even weirder. My sister was 23 years older than me.
Wow.
And so maybe I wasn't planned. Maybe.
You just showed up.
Maybe.
With a cinder block.
And but that house that my mom and dad designed, I couldn't stand up in.
It was that small.
I mean, when I go back to, I still own the house. Right. My mom and dad are dead. When I go back to the house and I go through, I brought my children there because I have a friend that lives in the house now. And when I brought my children back, they're amazed because every doorway I automatically duck, no matter what way I'm walking. Right. Because I know that I can't walk through any of the doorways, and so I'm always doing that, and just natural. So, I know what it's like to be a little bit of an outsider. Should I talk about a podcast?
Sure.
There's a podcast. everybody's got a podcast. But this guy, Podcats, his local guy, you must have talked to Katz. John Katz. Yeah, he's done stuff.
Yes.
Well, he's got a podcast called Podcats, Podkats, Las Vegas Entertainment. New episode every Monday. The most recent episode features David Copperfield.
Oh.
Past guests have included Piff the Magic Dragon, Dana Carvey, Craig Ferguson, Perez Hilton, Ice Cube, Wayne Newton, Carlos Santana.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people on there. That's Podkats, Las Vegas Entertainment. And the most recent episode, Kat sits down with our friend David Copperfield, talks about what it's like to go on Penn and Teller. Fool us. He was on as a judge.
Okay.
He had us judge.
Y'all never had magic beef?
What's that?
You and Copperfield, y'all never had any beef with the magic?
You think so? Maybe.
Ah,
Maybe in the 80s there were hits put on me by him. But
What do you think we talk about when you're not here?
they also chatted about their shared admiration of Lady Gaga, Copperfield's collection of Gilligan's Island memorabilia, and what it's like to own your own private island.
he owns that island.
He owns
That's
that
right.
island, yeah. They did the interview on location at the hangar where Copperfield parks his private jet, which I have a beef with. They say here he parks his private jet. I don't believe he does. I believe someone else parks his private jet.
That's right.
I don't think he's parallel parking.
Not himself.
I don't think he's doing that.
No, what's he,
To
John
find that
Travolta?
episode and every episode, search Podcats, Kats, Podcats Las Vegas Entertainment. That's Podkats Las Vegas Entertainment. Wherever you get your podcast, if you go hit subscribe right now, we'll be here waiting for you. And you can listen to the rest of Penn's Sunday School. Yeah, Katz is a good guy.
How did Copperfield get an island, man?
Copperfield, for many, many years, was the top earning entertainer in the world.
In the world.
Yeah, he was making some serious cash. I mean, like Grateful Dead, ZZ Top 80s money.
Right.
He was making some serious money.
Is he still making that?
Yeah, he's still making really good money. Yeah. But he's settled down a little bit more. He's over at the MGM and doing his shows. And we both have mellowed out remarkably. I used to go on Stern. I would talk about Copperfield.
There we go.
I would get phone calls from Copperfield, and there would be some yelling back and forth.
Really?
And then I would make promises to him that I would not keep. I would say to him, listen, I won't even mention you again, man. I promise you, I won't mention you again. And there was one time, it was exactly 45 minutes after I promised I wouldn't mention him again, I did a joke in the very next interview, and he called me up and said, "You are a crackhead." He said, it's like you have promised me you're not going to do crack again, and then you do it. He said, insulting me in public is like crack to you. And I had to admit to David Copperfield that I was helpless. I was helpless in doing
it.
I just could
slave to it.
I just could not control it. I needed like a 12-step program to get and then, every time I would trash, David Blaine or Chris Angel, Copperfield called me and go, "See, does that feel good?" Just change that right over there. He was the kind of person that thought, like Miles Davis, the way you quit heroin is to do cocaine.
Okay, yes.
So
that's how you
the way you stop insulting Copperfield is go after Blaine.
That's right.
That was his solution. Because remember, Miles did that big thing like, I've quit heroin. I've kicked heroin.
Yes.
I'm off heroin. And he was on cocaine then.
Yeah, a lot of cocaine.
Yeah. And you can, some people do that.
So what do you think about Blaine and all the new...
Oh, Blaine did the best TV special that's ever been done on magic.
Oh,
he got this incredible idea. It was street magic.
Right, the street magic.
This incredible idea that he was going to put the camera on the audience.
Right.
And that sounds so obvious now. No one ever thought
Nobody thought about it.
Every single magic special before that had been all, the audience is there, we hear them laughing, but we see this stuff on stage.
Right.
And David Blaine got the idea that he would go on the streets and he would do tricks for people and get their reaction. And all he was waiting for was people to scream.
Yeah.
And what
every black neighborhood he went to, they thought he was from the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he played that.
He played it up,
and he loved it. And also the thing you got to realize, and this isn't giving things away, but for every 3 minutes you saw on his TV special, he shot that 50 times.
Right.
So he could just wait to get really good reactions, really clean, really good, and just go with that. It was a beautiful, beautiful special and changed the whole world. And like everybody who's really big in the field, everyone that followed him completely and utterly sucked.
Right.
Because they stole the wrong shit.
Right.
They couldn't steal his heart. So they stole the bullshit that's around it, you know.
Right.
He did a great special. And I've heard, and I haven't seen it, I can't speak to it. You saw it already.
Yes.
His latest tour is really good.
Yes.
Really?
Really good. Now, there was a lot of stuff with him working live and some of the later specials where he wasn't really to my taste. But everybody I've talked to about this new tour say he's just great.
Really?
And of course, we do the show Fool Us, so we know all the young magicians coming up, and they're really great.
Oh,
and
really?
the really thing is, it is opening up. You know, what we never had in magic was girls.
Right.
There were 12-year-old boys doing magic, but there were no 12-year-old girls.
Right.
None. And now, because of the internet, because magic never opened up, magic never got inclusive.
Right.
It stayed
the same thing.
But the internet blew that open.
Right.
So they don't care about magic clubs. They can go on and learn stuff on videos and stuff. So now, and I tell you, this almost makes me cry, like most nights at the show, you know, we always meet people after the show. Most nights at the show, there'll be like a girl coming up and saying, hey, have you seen this, Penn? And doing a magic trick for me while their parents video it.
That's great.
Which used to be guys. You know, it'd always be young boys. And people ask me, you know, and I've said this a million times, that you know, is your son, and I have a son and a daughter, is your son into magic? And I always go, no, my daughter is. Yeah.
Right.
And my daughter, I was wanting to bring this up, and I had forgotten it, and now I'm bringing it up. Monday night, which is, if you're listening right now, tomorrow night, but if you're listening on Monday, tonight, on the CW, Penn and Teller Fool Us, whenever that is, 8 or 9 o'clock or something, the closing act in the show is my daughter.
Really?
13 years old.
Wow.
And she comes out and does Volterra, the Vegas magnet.
Okay.
And we did this thing where I do the talking, most of the talking. She does a little talking. Teller handles the props. And my daughter, for the close of the show, is doing all the magic.
That's great.
And what we chose to do with her, which some of my Carney friends called me up and busted me, did a thing called the electric chair, where you run voltage through someone's body so they can light torches.
Right.
And they can do all this stuff. And some of my Carney friends said, you took your daughter and you ran all this electricity to her to do this trick? And I said, sure, it's safe. And they go, yeah, it's safe. But on the Carney, we do it like runaway girls. We don't care. I said, do my daughter. And she did a really good job. I really loved it. And I also like that because I really want people to see a new image of magicians. You know, magicians have always been, 30-year-old middle-class guys, doing magic, and we just want to open it up. And with Fool Us, working hard to do that, working hard to dig around and find people that don't fit in that, we found people that do like always, do really different stuff. You know, you go out of a certain demographic, you get different sorts of ideas and stuff mixing up, and it's been really good. So I hope that Moxie inspires young girls to do magic all over.
Yeah, I never really realized, but yeah, I've never seen young women.
There's
in
never
magic.
been.
Only on the side, like the assistant.
Always the assistant. Oh yeah, if you want to see him assistants, if you want to see him jumping in boxes and getting mutilated, you got that. You got. If you want a greasy guy in a tux with a lot of birds torturing women in front of Mylar to bad rip-off Motown music, you have got that in magic. We have got that covered. That is there for you whenever you need it. If you want something a little off that menu,
it's hard.
That's just coming in.
Right.
That's just starting out.
And the young kids doing it.
Yeah, they're starting to. And something that nobody noticed, but was really profound to us, is about 12% of the people on Fool Us. Okay. About 12% have tricks we can't figure out.
Really?
Yeah, about 12%.
How many episodes you have done already?
Christ, we've done what, 6 years, 7 years?
Damn.
Yeah. So we've done like 80 or 90 shows.
What was one thing that you still was like, how the hell did they?
But like I said, there's a bunch of those. There's a couple guys, Kostya Kimlet, who is a Russian cat.
Okay. He's a meddler. He meddled in our election.
Does yes, exactly. Does card stuff. That he just chooses to fool us whatever he wants. It's no challenge for him.
Really?
And then there's this weird cultural thing Any guy doing card tricks from Spain fools us. Any Spanish card magician fools us. And the reason is there's this guy over there, Juan Tamariz, who is a superstar,
Right.
who's a fabulous card guy, but also a really wonderful, wonderful person.
So he's teaching everybody?
He's teaching everybody. He's inspiring everybody. You know, it's like when you get anybody like that, when Prince or James Brown or Bob Dylan or anybody come along, if they're that good, they suck everybody along with them.
Right.
And so all these guys, inspired by Juan Tamariz when they were like 15, start learning shit.
How old is he?
Oh, he must be older than me, right? 70s?
Yeah, he's like 73, 74, somewhere around there.
And you would say he's the best at the card tricks? And
Yeah, he's also he's this gentle, beautiful hippie.
Right.
And he is the meanest motherfucker who ever lived in. I heard a way he did a trick. I'm going to give this away. I guess I probably shouldn't, but it shows what a mean ass motherfucker he is, right?
I like it already.
He says to everybody in the audience, yell out your favorite card, okay? And everybody yells out their favorite card. He goes, I can't hear different stuff, right? I can't hear different stuff. Too many people yelling out. I'll just do a trick for you, right? He does a whole trick, okay? And then 30 minutes later in the show, okay, he finishes the trick, takes off his hat, and acts like he's going to pass the hat, puts the hat back on. 20 minutes later in the show, that whole thing's forgotten. He's moved on.
Right.
He'll go to a woman in the audience and say, name a card. She names the card, takes off his hat, hands it to her. There's one card in there, and it's her card. Okay, here's the method on this. You know what the method is, right? It's amazing. When everybody yells out their favorite card, he listens to one person.
One person.
Remembers that. Then when he goes through to the other card trick, he pulls that card out. When he goes to pass the hat later on, throws it in his hat, puts it back on.
Oh.
Amazing.
He's one of these guys that it's not that he's the best. It's that he's got a different way of thinking about how you do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all perspective for him, like a different way in.
You say
so it's like the same joke.
You say a different way of thinking about things. I say he's a motherfucker. He just does not care. There are no rules. He'll do anything to fuck you up. Anything.
Right.
And it makes him just fabulous. What I was bringing up here was so we had 5 women on the show last season. 5 women who were not part of a team. They were not assistants. They were actually standing there doing magic on their own.
Nice.
Okay. Now that's really good. We're really proud of that. We worked hard to get that to happen over the years. They were really good. But the most important thing that nobody noticed, all 5 fooled us.
All 5 fooled you?
Yeah, because we are old guys brought up in that tradition.
Right. And
they were thinking a different way.
Yep.
So we were really, really thrilled about that. And we're going to talk to Sherrod Small more.
72 episodes, by the way.
72. Thank you. 72 episodes.
So hot off the bit stream, Dustin sent us our winners.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
You want to answer it right now? Why don't you do it right now?
Well, tell him
tell him we got a new VR game called Frankly Unfair, Unkind, Unnecessary, and Underhanded. Okay, it's a way to mess with people in VR. That's what it abbreviates to FU, UU, and U.
Okay,
that's what it abbreviates to.
Nice.
And we gave an award to any. We gave a free game contest to anybody who could tell that during the game, there's one thing you can do where you can be virtual Penn. And you can be what I am like off stage. You get to be me. And when you be me, you get to sit in a chair and read, which is all I do.
Right.
And they had to guess the book I was reading, which is the easiest contest ever. It is, I believe, the greatest book written in English, and that is Moby Dick. By Herman Melville.
I was going to say Tells All 4th Grade Nothing by Judy Blume. I'm more of a Bloom boy.
Yeah, sure. You're a bloomer. You're a bloomer. And who were the 5 people that
So our 5 winners are Tom Umberger, Sam Friedman, Justin Gallant, Luke Reed, and Maja Drake.
practice all those names?
No, I just read it. This just came in.
So they all guessed the book that you were reading?
Yeah. Moby.
Without seeing the book?
Nice. But it's really simple because if you listen to this podcast ever, I've mentioned Moby Dick and Bob Dylan. Moby Dick and Bob Dylan get mentioned just about every show, including this one.
Just about as often as we mention our beef with David Copperfield.
And we'll be back with Sherrod Small Wednesday, which is going to be right now.
Yeah.
But for right now, that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday School.
Cha-cha-cha.
So who you think is like the biggest female
You become naked.
magician? Like,
Biggest female magician, there's never been one. Never been a superstar. There was Belinda, the first lady of magic, who worked a lot in Vegas,
Right.
not internationally known. And there was like the woman who did all stuff with vinyl, singles. Like Miss 45, she was called or something.
do you think it has anything to do with like people don't want to be fooled by women?
Might also be that. I'll tell you, all the reasons there aren't women magicians, none of them are good reasons.
None of them are good.
They're all creepy reasons about our society.
We are the worst.
And you know we love you.